Welcome back to Bust Picks, episode 6. It is me, your host, Dio Reynoso. I'm here with the other host,
Don Behan. How are we?
Guys, let's have a talk. Let's have a serious talk about gambling. We're all losing.
It's been a rough couple weeks here for any NFL bettors.
It's been downright atrocious. Now I did okay. But okay is like getting to 500, and
that's not a good feeling.
We're better than that here at Bust Picks. We can do better. So me and Don are here to give you a fully guaranteed. We are going to go above 500. We are going to go above 500. Don doesn't even know this.
No.
Don doesn't know. He knows this now.
Yeah, I'm learning this with you guys.
Yeah. And if not,
it's not a good feeling.
Donovan will shave his beard. I won't shave my beard, but Donovan will shave part of his beard if we don't end up 500. And that's both of us. Anyway.
Just part?
Yeah.
Y'all are going to see me with a goatee, and it's going to be gross.
It's going to be great. Donovan, give me a fact.
All right, fact today. Did you know it took until the 1979-1980 season of the NHL to finally enforce that players had to wear helmets?
Wait, 1979?
79-80 season is when the NHL finally decided, let's put headgear on these people when a puck's coming at them at 110 miles an hour.
That just can't be true.
It is. Weirder still, they had a caveat to the rule. So if you were in the league before the rule took place, you did not have to wear a helmet after the rule was instated.
Oh, so people were like, nah,
so there
I've
was
got my whole life.
There was I played my whole career without a helmet. Now that this rule's in place, I'm not going to wear a helmet.
Those guys are savages. That's so crazy. Dude,
Carl McTavish was the last player to not wear a helmet. He retired in 1997.
Was I alive?
We were alive when he retired.
No way.
97-98 season, he retired and did not wear a helmet.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's actually crazy.
Just a wild man.
I have a fact of the day.
Ooh.
All right, I don't have a fact of the day. I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. Question of the day.
You make us question everything.
I that's my job here. So is defense back in the NFL?
The scoring is down.
Scoring has been is the lowest since 2010. 2010, there's never been lower scoring since then. My question is defense back in the NFL? We've just went through it about 12 years of dominance from the offense where rules have been allocated and you can't hit the quarterback, and pretty much offense has been the number one thing.
Well, because that's what sells for the NFL. That's Roger Goodell's mindset, is that's what sells tickets.
So the question is more this. We know defense is stepping back up.
Yes.
Does it make the league worse?
I think it makes it more exciting.
So I disagree. I think defense. I'm getting bored. I want my overs to hit. I want my touchdowns. We're down in yards. We're down in receptions. We're down in touchdowns. That's why I'm here.
See, to me, I'm enjoying it because I like seeing Myles Garrett line over the nose tackle and start doing crossovers.
That's cool.
Because he's just like, bro, you're not going to touch me.
I
like that.
I like that too. But I'm also not trying to watch these 14-10 games. Like, the Falcons have some of the most amazing offensive pieces, and the fact that they can't score more than 20 points a game is actually ridiculous.
Do you think it's that defenses are back? This is going to be a weird pose because this is how some people are treating it right now. I've seen online. Do you think it's defenses are back, or the generation of younger quarterbacks at the moment
Haven't caught up to speed?
haven't caught up yet? Because Trevor Lawrence was the last young quarterback who's still getting up to speed. Like, he's the oldest of that tier of age.
Yeah.
Because you have Sam Howell, who hasn't really jumped off the page. Lawrence, who is good, but he hasn't turned to lead.
Bryce Young. Well, C.J. Stroud is
Stroud's it.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. Anthony Richardson.
I'm not putting those three in there just because they're rookies. This isn't
the second and third year guys.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, that's also a fair point. I just wanted to talk about, is defense making a mark on the NFL again? And if it is, that's really, really fun. But if it isn't, where are we at? Is that a league that we want to watch? Because I can watch defensive battles. I've watched the Big Ten games. They're awful.
I enjoy grudge match, but that's different. I grew up a Ravens fan. That's what you're geared for.
You want defense. All right, we're going to go into a new segment called Progress Reports, where it's mid-season. We're going to go through a couple teams. We're going to give you guys a letter grade on how well we think they've performed halfway through the year. It's not a final grade. They still have time to improve.
All
But
these teams can move up or down very quickly.
But based on how far they've done so far, we're going to give them a letter grade.
All right.
First team we're going to talk about is the LA Chargers here in our hometown, Donovan. How do we feel about the LA Chargers?
I give them a D.
I gave them a C minus.
Okay, so we're close.
We're very
close
close.
there. On paper, this is supposed to be a deep playoff year. Everything short of at least second round of the playoffs to me feels like a failure for this team.
I agree with you. I think everyone knows that this team had expectations, maybe not to win the division because they're with the Super Bowl champions on that team or in that division, but
at least get out of the wild card.
Yeah, and it's been super annoying.
Because there's so much talent.
Yeah. Now, I do think this team can turn it around, but as of right now, they've been very disappointing. They started 0-2, 0-3.
They're 2-4 at the moment. They were 0-3 to start.
Yeah, and then they beat the Vikings, and they haven't beaten the best of teams.
No, the only teams that they have a better record and points for, based on all the tiebreakers, so the NFL breaks it down, only two teams that they are currently better than, the New England Patriots and the Broncos. That's it.
That's
They are the
terrible.
30th ranked team in terms of wins, losses, and then all the tiebreaker junk.
That sounds awful. Sounds
They're
awful.
in a rough spot. Big thing to me, though, is they are 13th in penalty yards on defense, and they've already had a bye week.
Yeah. So
If you adjust just per game basis, they are second in defense in penalty yards. That's 60.5 yards a game, just behind the Saints.
that's the biggest reason. Staley is the biggest reason why they're underperforming, and he's the number one target
He's
for.
made so many weird calls.
Yeah, he's awful. Everyone knows he's awful at this point, and it's just kind of all right, get the season over with. We're gonna get a new head coach next year, so let's just let this guy run his course. Now, the worst case scenario, the Chargers rattle off a little playoff run, and then they have to keep Staley. That would be awful.
I think the team knows what Staley's peak is, and
Yeah.
so even if you do make a wild card spot and lose in the first round, Staley needs to go.
Nah.
He's not getting this team to where it needs to be.
I 100%
And Keenan
agree.
Allen and Mike Williams are just getting older.
Yeah, and Joey Bosa, as much as I love Joey, the cliff is starting to happen. He's going to be 30 soon. It's happening. The edge rush.
You have 2 years.
Khalil
left of that.
Mack's not old now. That defense has Derwin James on it, but Asante Samuel Jr. They don't have
They don't have a lot of.
pieces like that.
They don't have youth outside the wide receivers. That
Yeah.
makes me go, oh, they're going to be in good hands.
And I feel bad because the Charger fans wanted this year to be this is our year, and I feel like they're constantly just getting dunked on, and it's tough.
It's just a letdown.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next team. Don, what's the next team?
Next team, Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. Don, what's your letter grade?
I give them a B.
We're lockstep.
There we go. There we go. We in here.
A B is the perfect because they're 4-2, 5-2,
They're
somewhere
where
around
they
there.
need to be at the moment. They're not excelling, and I think it's because of Dak.
I've been such a Dak defender. I feel like I find
have.
I find the mid quarterbacks, and I'm like, don't worry, guys, I'll defend you. And this is my final year. I'm not defending Derek Carr anymore. I'm not defending Kirk Cousins anymore. I'm not defending Dak Prescott anymore. They're getting a B because of Dak Prescott.
Yes.
They're getting a D because of their offense not being what it should be or what it was last year at least.
The ground game is there. Pollard has been very, very efficient.
Efficient's the word, but I wouldn't say explosive.
No,
I wouldn't say dynamic.
because teams know we don't need to cover the back end for a deep ball. Michael Gallup hasn't been great.
yeah.
Brandon Cooks hasn't been consistent. Normally, Dak is good at elevating a tight end. That hasn't really happened in a consistent way. It's just CD.
Yeah, no, it's just been CD, and Cooks has been crazy disappointing. I thought he would at least be a little target
He's shown
sponge.
flashes. He's had 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
But it's never 1 or 2 games with Michael Gallup having a game at the same time and CD having a game.
So then-
it's either CD has a crazy game or CD does good and one other guy has an okay game.
So then, are we putting too much blame on Dak then? Because we clearly don't love his weapons, and
No, I like the weapons.
there's clearly an offensive coordinator change. Kellen Moore's not there anymore.
Yeah.
There was going to be a dip in offensive they've been the number one offense for 2 straight years. Of course, there's going to be a step back, but
It feels like too big of a step back.
yeah,
Because I'm not blaming the weapons. I
Yeah.
think Brandon Cooks still has gas in the tank. Gallup has shown consistently he can be a great number 2, number 3 on a team. It's just
Number
they're
3
not-
at this point now.
Number 3 now,
Yeah.
but he's not distributing the ball well.
Not at all.
No, and I think
Not at
that's
all.
the key. Yeah, they're going to go focus more on the ground game, but you need to have a good completion percentage, and you need to be efficient with the targets you're giving out.
Efficiency is key, man. Let's move on to the next team. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers, a team Don knows and loves too close to his heart. Let's give our letter grades in 3, 2, 1.
C.
A-. What?
I can't get a read on them. I can't get a read on this team.
At this point in the...
No, I think they're overachieving at the moment.
Okay.
Like so, on paper right now, I can see the A. On paper right now, I see the A.
They're absolutely an A-. They're tied for first in their division.
No, they're behind by one.
One game?
One game.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah.
But Kenny Pickett is 30th in the league in QBR, has 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions.
And they're still winning games.
And it's just the defense. I think the defense deserves an A+, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Offense deserves a C-.
Correct. I mean, I'll meet you in the middle ground for B+. But, like, what
I
this
can meet
team
you
is
there.
doing, Mike Tomlin is coaching his butt off.
Yes.
I think he's
winning despite Matt Canada.
He's winning. He's literally winning with ankle weights on. He's like, I'm going to win games without an offense. I'm going to win games with just as much as we can do.
Do you think that's maybe his new challenge is I could go 8-8 without an offense?
It's so impressive. And to the people
I've
ever
had 9-8.
9,
I still get used to that.
right now they're going to make playoffs. Right now, the way this team is playing, they will make playoffs.
They will make it to the wild card
Yes.
and get bounced immediately. But they will make it to the wild
You
card.
can only talk so much, junk. You guys lost to them.
I know. And that defense is just amazing.
TJ Watt, when he plays, that Steelers team,
He is such
insane.
a scary human being.
yeah, A- for sure. George Pickens is maybe he's doing the best he can with the offense he is in. Deontay Johnson's been out this entire time.
Yes,
he
that's
just
true.
came back.
Yeah.
Pat Fryermuth's on IR. It's not like they have their best offensive weapons.
Weird hot take?
Yeah.
I think Deontay Johnson coming back may be bad for the offense.
Why?
Because Pickett has made it known, and this came out a couple games ago, with Matt Canada being mad at Pickett when he threw a one-on-one coverage
Yeah.
to Pickens and he got the touchdown.
Yeah.
And Canada was pissed because Pickett was checked out of the play. Canada called an audible.
Mm-hmm.
I think that with Deontay there, we're not going to see the Pickett-Pickens connection, and that has been the most explosive part of this offense. That has been the big play.
No, for sure.
And Deontay back is going to eat up those targets. So I think the offense is going to be a little bit more efficient, but not as explosive with Deontay there.
They
and
just need to be
and
efficient.
I don't think but their efficient isn't good enough.
No,
feel.
I agree.
Their efficient is still bad. The explosive keeps them in games.
Kenny Pickett over under 15 passing touchdowns this year. I think he's got 6.
He has 5 at the moment.
Gotcha.
5,
Okay.
well, at least
5. I think he's
last
got
time
5,
checked.
yeah.
5 in 6 games. Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
5 tutties, 4 interceptions in 6 games.
15 touchdowns. 15 and a half over under.
I think he hits like 16, 17. Just
Okay.
barely scrape. I
All
think
right.
he'll when we're 18-week season, I think he's around 18.
Okay, cool. Let's move on to the next team. It is the New Orleans Saints. We're going to give you a progress report in 3, 2, 1, D. Let's go.
This is just a bad team.
I
I had so much hope for them. I had futures on them winning the division. Just purely on the defense, and Carr just had to be average.
their schedule was not tough. They have so much lined up for them. A promising young receiver in Chris Olave who loves to speed. They've got. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, okay, good.
But Alvin Kamara's back. They have a plethora of running backs. I mean, Jamal Williams did get hurt, but Kendre Miller was there. Like
then
they
he
drafted
got
for-
hurt.
Yeah, and the
Tony Jones Jr. now in the Cardinals.
yeah, so I understand there's a couple guys popping up everywhere. Raheed Shaheed is good. I mean, Taysom Hill's still out there rushing in touchdowns. Like that team was supposed to be way better. They had a great indoor schedule where they don't have to play outside a lot. Derek Carr back with his old coach. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot
we
of
were
things that
expecting a lot
lined
there.
up, and it's just been awful.
It has. Well, I'm not 100% putting it on Carr,
I'm not putting it on Carr either.
and I feel like a lot of fans are at the moment. I'm not putting it on Carr because it's looked like Carr and the receivers have just been on different pages. Because there's times receivers will make a break, call for the ball, and Carr's looking somewhere else. And there's times where Carr is specifically looking at one route, and and will throw that specific route, and the whatever receiver, say like Michael Thomas is running, or no, he doesn't, but say like Olave is running the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Carr has his spot where he's like, Olave is fast enough, he'll be right here, I'm going to target there, and Olave cuts in, and Carr's like, wait, I just overthrew you by 20 yards because I expected you to be there. What route are you running?
Yeah, there's
too much miscommunication.
I also think Dennis Allen is a terrible, terrible coach that needs to lose his job very, very soon. Let's move on to the next team. We have 2 more teams left. The Buffalo Bills are next. 3, 2, 1.
B minus.
B minus as well. I have them at B minus. I think we both have the exact same reasons. They just haven't hit.
What is this team?
Can I give you a question?
Yes.
Are the Buffalo Bills the best good or the worst good team ever?
I think as a franchise. This season, I think they're in there. I think they're in the conversation. But as a franchise, historically, they're one of the bad elite teams.
They're
they'll rattle off
the best worst. The Buffalo Bills are the best worst team I've seen in a very, very long time. Where I expect them to just pop off on offense, and I'm like, Gabe Davis, he's a fun, flashy weapon. I mean, Stephon Diggs eats every week, but like they have 2 really fun tight ends, and their defense is supposed to be good. I know they're kind of beat to hell, but like.
I mean, they have 2 corners out right now, yeah.
And then I turn on the TV, and I'm always like, Josh Allen is the reincarnation of Cam Newton. And as much as I love that, it also gets so frustrating sometimes.
It does, because he'll have games where he's arguably the best quarterback in the league.
Oh, yeah, and you're like, this guy's the stallion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he'll turn around and go, why did you throw to the triple coverage 60 yards down the field and get it picked? Like, there's no reason. You're up by 14.
Yeah.
Why?
Why are we doing checkdowns on 3rd and 16?
It's so. He has been cleaner than his rookie year, but I feel like this year has been a regression from last season.
I think losing Brian Daboll will do that to you. I think Brian Daboll is like the people's coach. I really, really like him, but yeah, we'll see how far that goes.
Yeah.
Last team we're going to talk about is the Seattle Seahawks. I'm giving them a B+.
I'm right there. I have a B.
Okay.
I think they're in a good spot. I'm not worried about them. I think that they're going to be in the more like they're favored to make playoffs. They're fine.
I think they're sneaky to even win their division. I think the Niners are starting to show a little bit of regression, injuries.
Yeah.
The Seattle Seahawks do everything on the football field correctly. I would just say maybe quarterback play isn't as great as people would want it to be.
Well, you have DK out right now. You've had 2 tackles out for that. We've been talking about this for past episodes. Mm-hmm. The offensive line is still not back.
No.
And the replacement line is suspect sometimes. And so
suspect at best.
Yes. And so Gino's running for his life. I shout out to Witherspoon though. I think he's going to be defensive rookie of the year.
He's insane, isn't he?
He has
shout out to the Spoon.
2 sacks. 97-yard pick 6 and 8 passes defended already as a corner.
Yeah, I watch him play.
That defense is good.
Crazy. No, they're better. They have 2 elite corners. They have good safeties. Their defensive line's pretty stout. Mm-hmm. Warner's holding the middle of that defense like you wanted him to.
Yeah.
The offensive line is probably my biggest issue there. I think they have good tackles, but the guards can sometimes get a little iffy, and that's where I'm getting scared. But
if they could shore up that O-line at the trade deadline,
yeah,
this team is going to be.
Trade deadline's going to be awesome next week.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, bye. That's the end of that segment. We're going to go into busts of the week. Donovan, who is your bust of the week?
Mine, I just took low-hanging fruit just because they need to be shouted out. Brian Hoyer, what are you doing?
I love watching the Raiders play football.
Because
they don't know how to play football.
You have 2 arguably elite wide receiver talents.
Yeah.
One of the best running backs in the league. Come at me if you want. Josh Jacobs, I think he's the top 7 running back in the league.
Yeah,
in my
sure.
mind.
Yeah.
Like last season was a magical season for him. He's consistently in the upper echelon of running backs, and somehow you throw for 129 yards, down by 2 scores and 2 picks. Like you can't get anything going with all those weapons.
I 100% agree with you, Brian Hoyer.
It's just,
but like,
what are you doing, dude?
He's also a backup, and he's also 97 years old. At some point, you're just like, good job, Grandpa. Aiden O'Connell should have played the game. I know he's in his 30s, but he feels like he's been playing forever.
Yeah, that's true. But he's always been just around. But that should have been Aiden O'Connell. If you have a young guy in your roster, go let him make the big play.
I think Raider fans also agree, but like, Josh McDaniels is showing you why you should get fired every single week.
He really is.
My bust of the week is the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay.
Look, I made a few episodes ago, I told you guys the 3 teams I'm betting on.
Very bold predictions.
Orioles, Dodgers, Phillies. All of them shit the bed. I'm sorry. All of them did not do good. The Phillies, though, did it in a very special way. All month, they were saying Red October. We're undefeated in October. No one can beat our home presence. The bats are just different here in Philly. We're just different fans here in Philly. We get in your heads. Mm-hmm. Is there a sadder state in sports history than Arizona? There isn't.
No.
There's some fans that don't even know the Diamondbacks are a baseball team in Arizona.
When's the last chip they had?
Never is the last chip. Here they are, and yeah, they've had some cool seasons.
They've had some good seasons. Randy Johnson over there was phenomenal.
Yeah, but the fact that Arizona was like, we're gonna go to your home in Red October and just dunk on you twice. I'm sorry, Phillies. You guys are the bust of the week. We had the makings of a fantastic World Series, and I know you're kind of like you're gonna root for the Diamondbacks.
I want to see the world burn. The Rangers Diamondbacks World Series is incredible.
I'm gonna go for the Rangers, but that's our baseball talk. Let's move into Gold Star of the week. This guy's gonna get a nice little Gold Star in the mail. Don, who's your guy?
Myles Garrett, just 28.4% win rate from Rush, 2 forced fumbles on 2 sacks, and blocked a field goal. Like he was a game wrecker. He single-handedly carried the Browns.
For a guy that hates the Browns, you sure do love Myles Garrett.
I mean, you got to respect the man. The fact that he is most of his career played with sleeves.
Yeah.
The minute he took them off, everyone went, "You're not a human anymore."
Yeah.
And he was just like, "This is how I've always been."
He's like the fastest. I think he just broke the record fastest to get to 80 sacks ever.
Yes.
He's like crazy.
I mean, same way I show love to TJ Watt. Like, I hate playing against him. I hate watching him on the field succeed. But you have to respect it.
Yeah,
and they have such
impressive.
a high elevated game that it's just you can't look away.
Mine's a little personal pick. I went with Jahmyr Gibbs. And for a little background information, this is actually a good time for me to get on my soapbox. I'm tired of listening to TikTok fantasy football gurus.
Okay.
I think that there's a collusion thing happening. I think they told everyone, go get Jahmyr Gibbs, go get Jahmyr Gibbs, so that way we could all draft Jahmyr Gibbs. Meanwhile, they took all the players that they really wanted at that ADP. I think that they are shorting the market. I think there's a stock market problem going on in the fantasy football community that needs to get rated immediately. I think we got to get the FCS to really look into it and really dive into this. Saying that, Jahmyr Gibbs finally gave me a good game, and I loved every second of it. Jahmyr, you go eat, you catch your 9 for 10, you go do the same thing next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, and you're going to be flooded with gold stars on that helmet.
He did good.
He did really good.
I can't say much positive things about the Lions after that performance. But
How did you feel?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, it was just such a beat. I was at the house watching it. It was just like,
You lost to the Steelers and Colts.
I know, but it was just watching that game. Like, we have such a good team, and that's all I could think about was our 2 L's. I'm like, if we're able to do this, why do we play down to our competition constantly?
It's coaching, Don. Let's go into Gambling Ring. Look, we're gonna go through. Last week wasn't pretty.
No, it was not.
It was not pretty. We talked about it in the beginning. We're gonna go through some of our favorite games this week.
Rebounds.
We're gonna tell you what we like in these games. Bucks versus Bills is the first game, Thursday night game. Don, where we leaning?
I think Bills bounce back this match.
Damn it.
No, Bucks somehow lost to Bijan Robinson out for the Falcons.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, and the NFL's investigating it.
Yeah.
They did make an announcement. They are investigating the Falcons now because of that. But you lost with Algier starting. You guys have only scored 19 points in their last 2 games, 1 touchdown. Mm-hmm. It's their offense is completely stagnated. I think the Bills do enough. For this game, I'm liking the under 43.
I like it too. I think off a short week, both these teams are kind of struggling offensively. They haven't really found their footing. I mean, the Bills just lost to the New England Patriots, where we were talking about it. We had them dead to rights.
That
they were
should have
dead
been
in the
a lock.
water. I mean, we bet on it heavy.
Yes, we
and
did.
The Bill, as most people did, the public did, it just didn't survive.
No.
The smart bet is to take the Bills 8.5.
I like the Bills 8.5. To me, it's both offenses are worrying, and it's a defensive battle.
But-
because you have the Bills, who are second in sacks in the league, 25 sacks overall.
Russo, Espinoza, and Von Miller eating.
Bucks, on the other hand, second in the league in forced turnovers.
Yeah, they're fantastic at doing that. And
Yeah.
guess who likes to cough up the ball? Josh Allen.
So that's why I'm liking the under. It's just going to be a defensive slugfest.
I like the under too. I'm going to ride with you on that, but I'm going to take the Bucks. Plus 8.5 is a little too juicy. The public is betting heavy on the Bills right now, and what I'm going to start doing is I'm fading the public. So
Okay.
whatever the public is heavy on, I'm just going to instinctively zag where they're zigging.
Okay.
And I feel like that's where I'm going to find the money.
Sure.
Yeah.
If that's your working theory for the next few weeks.
That's the strategy. Let's go into the next game. It is the Vikings versus Packers. A game that quietly means a lot. I mean, if the Vikings win this game, they are putting the stamp on of we are not quitting this season.
Yes, this is a must-win game, I feel, for the Vikings.
Yeah.
To keep a strong season going. They could lose this and still make a weak backdoor argument.
For sure,
playoffs.
for sure.
But I think this is we're going to go try to chase.
Oh yeah, and Jefferson's healing. Like they're saying
Yes.
he could be back in the next 2
Well,
weeks.
they threw him on IR.
Yeah, so that it's going to be 2 weeks no matter what.
No matter what.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Your Jordan Love take. Are you still a Jordan Love guy?
I don't know what happened to him.
I can tell
Yeah.
you what happened to him. He was never good. If you're that good, if he was ever good, they would have moved on from Aaron Rodgers a while ago, while they still had more value on him.
I don't know about that because they did the exact amount of years that Love sat behind Rodgers. Rodgers sat behind Favre. That just felt like the Green Bay way.
Favre had more in the tank. Here's the thing. Rodgers was Aaron Rodgers. Like, everyone knew Aaron Rodgers was going to be great.
Yes.
Favre's just had a little more in the tank, and they're like, all right, we're done with you. You're a crazy old man. Go rob Mississippi. You know, they kicked him out. And Aaron Rodgers became Aaron Rodgers, won a Super Bowl, They were holding on to Aaron Rodgers to give him the huge contract. They didn't want to trade him because they knew the guy we got back here is not that great.
I feel like if they felt that way, they should have gone after a QB at
But
some point.
They couldn't look at their fan base and their ownership and be like, I know we spent all this money on this really cool toy, but like we don't want to play with it. Let's go play with this other one. You know, let's just go sign Jimmy G. You know,
But
like
it
that
felt
would have
like-
been awful.
No, that would have been terrible. But it felt like the entire offense has been off. Not just him, but the ground game. I mean, I know Aaron Jones has been injured, and
Yeah.
he's the spark for the entire offense. AJ Dillon has not been the guy.
AJ Dillon's another example of like if he was going to be the guy, he would have already been the guy.
Yeah, and that's concerning. Like they have a lot of young weapons.
Yeah, Reed,
that should
Dobbs,
step
Watson.
forward.
Watson is like
Luke Musgrave.
Luke Musgraves, Kraft. These are like players that are young and they're trying to build together. And I knew there was going to be woes, but I also expected more efficiency at this point. And there isn't. And I just can't reliably bet on the Packers. I'm taking the Vikings -1.5.
I'm good with that. Like I think the biggest thing for this defensively, Packers' run defense is just falling apart. So I think, and then the Vikings with Addison showing up last week, that's great for them.
Cam Akers showing up last week. Cam Akers was eating.
Cam Akers did well. Madison's still more yards.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but
no,
Cam Akers
true
like,
1-2.
Yeah, it was, and that's how the offense should run, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm taking Aaron Jones over 60 rushing receiving yards. The line hasn't officially come out yet, but that's kind of where I'm guesstimating based on where they have Madison total yards right now.
Okay.
Madison's line's come out. He's the only player for a prop I've been able to find this week.
What's
That's
the line you
an
want to
issue.
take him at?
I wouldn't take Jones over. Like, once it starts getting to the 72, 71, that's where I'm pulling out.
Okay.
But Jones needs to eat for the Vikings to stay in this game.
All right, let's go into the Jets versus Giants. New York, a battle. The Subway Series. I hate this game. I'm not excited to watch it. I think it's going to be.
It's a bloodbath.
if you're one of those guys like I want to watch defense, I want to watch these 5-2 Iowa versus Iowa type football games where there's no offense. Well, boy, do I have a game for you. Jets versus Giants. I'm gonna plug my nose. The smart pick would be take the Jets +3 in a game that 3 points means everything.
Yes.
I believe in Breece Hall more than I believe in Saquon at this point. Give me the Jets -3.
No, I like the Jets -3 here.
Let's go, Don.
I am not looking at this game the same perspective as you, though.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to be like the 10-3 kind of. I think the Jets get turnovers, and I think it doesn't matter how bad. Tyrod's good. Tyrod's good, but the offensive line is not.
Yeah, that offensive line
Tyrod is going to get lit up. The secondary is still incredible for the Jets. I don't think that you could only put up 10 points if you get 3 turnovers. I know the Jets will somehow find a way.
I think it'll be like a 17-14 type game, which would not cover for me.
Yeah,
but like I do believe like a 21. I think it's gonna be gross. I do think it's gonna be gross.
It's gonna be. I feel it's just gonna be very lopsided. I think the Jets defense make this game very lopsided.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty. Did I just convince myself to take the Giants? That's my problem.
That's interesting that you're doing that. Right. I'm still riding with the Jets.
I'm taking the Jets. I already bet the Jets, so I'm going with the Jets.
My big one, Breece Hall. His rushing line right now is 68.5.
It's hammer. I love Breece Hall.
No, it just needs 2 plays for him. He can break off
That's
2
awesome
35-yard runs, and he'll cover it.
And
the Giants' defense is not strong enough.
I love Breece Hall. I loved him coming out of Iowa State. Like there is no. Me and my brother have been the biggest Breece Hall fans. I think he's one of the most talented running backs in the league right now. I would take him over Josh Jacobs.
Giants defense 28th in the league in opponent yards per play.
They might also be like the worst, I think, statistical offense in the league too.
They are the worst statistical offense.
Let's move on to the next game. It is the Bengals versus 49ers.
Yes.
I think this is one of the best games of the week.
It depends.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see where Purdy is. For those who don't know, it was announced Wednesday morning. Purdy, I guess, was showing signs of a concussion on the flight home from the 49er Vikings game. He is in concussion protocol at the moment.
Yeah.
If he is not good to go, which it does not look like he will be at the moment, hasn't been officially announced for concussion, by the way. It hasn't, like, they haven't ruled it officially concussion. They just said he entered the protocol. Mm-hmm. That being said, they announced it Wednesday, games on Sunday. I don't think that he'll get out of. If they are this worried about him, he's not playing.
Here's my thing. Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's kind of a perfect fit for this offense.
He is, because he doesn't have to do much.
You can just throw him in. It's Bengals coming off a bye week. I think there's a lot of buzz about them getting healthy on offense. Joe Burrow finally getting to his old self. I'm not picking a line on this game yet, but what I am going to give the people is the over. I do love the over at 45.5. I do think Sam Darnold will be able to put up 20 points. I do believe that this Bengals team will be able to be efficient on offense. I know they've been one of the worst offenses. I'm betting the over 45.5.
I'm taking the Bengals +3.5. It's hard.
Wow.
It's hard for me to look at this.
What's up with you? You love your division this year?
I'm down on the 49ers at the moment. Debo's out. Purdy's out. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think it's going to be a very close game.
You don't think Sam Darnold's a good substitution?
I think he'll be fine.
I think he's the best backup in the league. I think we forgot about Sam Darnold when we were doing our backups list.
Minshew?
Yeah, I would take Sam Darnold over Gardner Minshew right now.
Brissett?
I would take Sam Darnold over Jacoby Brissett.
Really?
I would take Sam. I think Sam Darnold is a starter still, but that's like
we'll find out this week.
That's my first love.
This week.
That's my first love. I will never like. He's a USC quarterback. That's A.
Yeah.
And like B, he Colin Cowherd had me sipping the Kool-Aid of like Sam Darnold's gonna be the guy, and I'm still completely in it, and I hate every second about it.
Yeah, I get it.
Let's move on to the next game. It is the Browns versus Seattle Seahawks. I have a very interesting bet on this one.
Okay.
I've been doing my new favorite thing during the season has been taking first quarter bets.
Yeah, you have been taking a lot of those first quarter
over-unders. Yeah. I have a first quarter over at 7.5. I think both these defenses are really good, but it's juiced. You can get plus odds on the first quarter over 7.5. That's a field goal and a touchdown.
Okay.
I think this Seattle Seahawks offense is good enough to score in the first.
DK is not looking like he's going to play.
Doesn't matter. JSN's amazing.
He is. No, JSN's the guy.
Yeah. That's my bet for this game. Don?
I'm taking Seattle minus 3.5. Watson is going to be out this week. It's going to be another PJ Walker game. I just don't think that he is able to score much, especially with Jerome Ford looking to handle most of the backfield duties again.
No,
not Jerome Ford.
It's Kareem Hunt and Pierre Strong.
Pierre Strong, thank you. Yeah, Pierre Strong taking over for Ford because Ford's banged up.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt does not look like he has much left in the tank for me.
He's showing me some sadness. It's getting tough.
Yeah, this offense just feels like it's not going to be. It's going to be all on Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
and Seattle has too many weapons. Seattle just has too many weapons for that to happen again.
First off, the Browns also got a lucky win last week against the Colts. It is.
They did. They got away with it.
I don't like to call games on penalties, but when the last two penalties of the game affected the Colts losing, and the NFL later comes out and was like, "Yeah, we missed it." I'm like, "All right, well."
Yeah, no, they
for
got
nothing.
They got away with it.
Let's move on to the next game. It is the Bears versus Chargers Sunday Night Football.
Yes.
Why? Why are we going to watch this Sunday?
Why is this not flexed out? Like, you have I think 3 to 4 games that can be flexed each game each season.
I'd rather watch the Vikings Packers, and I've made it very clear I don't think the Packers are good.
I think it's going to be a more competitive game than this one.
Do you? Are you tipping your hat?
Oh, Chargers minus 8.5.
I'm taking the Bears plus 8.5. Zigging while zagging. 80% of the money is on
the Chargers.
Chargers 8.5.
Because that to me is the smart money. Even the Bears, after last week, 30th rated defense in the league, have and of course you could look good against
their defense
Brian.
Is awful.
Their defense is terrible. Their offense, I don't trust him. I don't trust a rookie quarterback going against a Charger defense that has star players still.
I get what you're saying. I just think that the Chargers like to charger it. I want Justin Herbert to be this guy. I just traded for him in a fantasy league. I want him to ball out. So let's do Justin Herbert over 2.5 passing touchdowns.
I like it. Bears have 3 offensive linemen on the injury list.
Yeah, they've had that all year.
But one of them has officially been ruled out already.
Yeah, that's just the Bears at this point.
I feel bad.
Monday night game, it is the Raiders versus Lions.
Another head scratcher of a primetime game.
Jimmy G could possibly be playing.
He's not cleared for practice or any contact yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping he plays. By the way, to all the Raider fans that were like, it was an even deal for Derek Carr and getting Jimmy G. It wasn't. Like, at least Derek Carr was playing. Like, Jimmy G's not even playing games.
You're paying him to rehab.
That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Saying that Lions are coming off of an embarrassment.
Yes.
David Montgomery's not going to play. My gold star of the week against one of the worst run defenses in the league, the Raiders. Give me the Lions minus 8.5 and a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown.
Yeah, no, I'm liking that line. I've seen it 8. I've seen it 8.5. I think it's just which book you go with at this point. It's floating around there. I'm fine with it. That's such a good line.
If it gets to 10, what would you do?
I'd still look Lions.
Same, dude. Isn't that crazy?
I might take the alternate line and take the plus odds.
Do you want to do alternate line at 14 with me?
That feels too high.
We can look at me, buddy. We can do it. We're gonna go undefeated this week. Remember?
I think Lions. The highest alternate line I'm confident on right now is
12. Let's do 12. Do 12 with me. Plug your nose and do 12 with me.
Okay. I'll plug my nose and do 12. I just think the Lions mollywop. There's no way that they take the loss that they just took and don't come out and go, we're just going to score all the points.
We're just going to be better than you.
Yeah, they're going to come out mad.
Let's move into our NBA little segment we're going to have right now called Predict the Future NBA Edition. Look, guys, we're going to give you 5 topics to talk about this week. Me and Don brought you the most improved team, the most disappointing team, the best new add to a team, the surprise team of the year, and our finals matchup.
Okay.
Let's start with the first one. The most improved team for this upcoming season, Don. Who's your most improved team?
All right, I'm going to caveat all my topics first.
Okay.
I am trying to avoid the obvious teams.
Same. I agree.
I'm trying to stay away from the Damian Lillard. I'm trying to stay away from the Chris Paul. I'm just avoiding those teams, and even down to my finals prediction. I want to pick the dark horse guys that not a lot of conversation's been about.
I tease it because I still want to talk about the hot buttons. But like,
yeah. But I know that you're better at talking to those points oftentimes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid.
Gotcha.
Most improved team, Grizzlies.
What?
Adding Marcus Smart to the team, I feel
He's a walking tech.
He's a walking, but he fits that grit and grind.
No,
Jaw's out for the first 25 games. You have a good point guard who could distribute and Smart.
Yeah.
He has the experience doing it when he needs. He has deep season playoff experience. He can't shoot, but he doesn't need to with this team.
I mean, the West can just. The thing about the West is there's so many good teams.
Yes.
If the Grizzlies start behind the 8 ball, they can actually be one of the most disappointing teams in the league.
I think that considering that without Ja for the first 25 games, everyone wrote them off completely for this season.
But you think they're more improved with? I mean,
with Marcus Smart, I think this team jumps from just a basement dweller at the end of the season to they're looking at a play-in game to get into playoffs.
But they're more improved with Ja Morant being suspended for 25 games. Now, statistically, the Grizzlies without Ja Morant are pretty good.
Yes, they have been.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't say that they're one of the most improved teams this upcoming year.
I think Marcus Smart being added to the team improves the team greatly.
My most improved team of the year, which is probably going to be most people's, it's the San Antonio Spurs, which is like a tough thing for me to say.
No, it makes sense with Wembley.
Wembyana is going to be. I mean, we just saw his first game today.
Yes,
it's crazy. He was defending the paint and the 3-point line at the same time, and I was like, "Oh, okay. If this guy stays healthy, he might be the best player." Do you want to do your Victor Wembanyama take now? Let's just get it off. Like,
what? He's locked in for Rookie of the Year. I think that he's gonna make like a third team All-Star, third team defensive.
What's the peak?
Oh, his peak in his career?
Yeah.
No, he's going to be if he can stay healthy, he's going to be the next Shaq.
Okay.
Just completely.
Let's just go crazy. I think he's the next Michael Jordan already. I think he's just as good as prime 1997 Michael Jordan today.
To me,
well, the
reason I threw in Shaq is they changed a lot about how the league operates because of Shaq's physical size, and I think that they're going to change a lot because of Wemby's size.
My whole thing isn't just Wemby. I think Caden Johnson. I think there's a lot of guys on that team. Coaching is amazing. Obviously, Greg Popovich. Yeah. I'm not saying that they're going to be in the playoff hunt, but I think them being in like the play-in tournament is like a real possibility.
Yeah, I think that's a huge step for a very young team that's going to just get better as the season goes.
Let's go into the most disappointing team of this upcoming year. I'm going to go first with the Sacramento Kings. Now, I was a Beam team guy. I love De'Aaron Fox. I love Sabonis. This is a team that I'm genuinely rooting for. But when I look at the board and I look at the West, there is a team. This is a team that's only built to disappoint. It feels like a storyline where everyone's like, light the beam, and that magic just isn't there again. And now they have to run up against a West that's just gotten stronger, and they're going to be left behind a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. What's your most disappointing?
My disappointing Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm with you, buddy.
I think it's just because
Luka's bad.
Luka.
Yeah.
No, and it's not because Luka's bad. I'm not trying to bet against.
Basketball.
I'm not.
Luka is a bad basketball player.
Not trying to bet against Luka in any way. It's the team around him. Kyrie cannot carry the team. If Luka goes down, which he already had a calf strain in preseason and had to miss a bit, Kyrie's not going to be able to handle this team on his own.
Don't talk about Kyrie and handles. That's the king of handles right there.
No, he's the king of handles, but he's not going to carry a team. Adding Grant Williams is great to the team.
It's a great addition.
But he's their best defensive player at this moment. He was good on defense because he played against high energy, high effort guys in the Celtics.
Yeah.
You have Kyrie who doesn't really cover.
No,
Luka
he doesn't
who
play
doesn't cover.
Luka doesn't do anything.
He doesn't.
Just sits there and eats. I hate Luka.
I know. No, it's very clear at this point. Yeah. But you have the two highest paid players on the team aren't going to give any effort on defense. Realistically,
never.
It's going to fall all on his shoulders for anything on the perimeter. Essentially, this team is not built to make a deep run. Especially if Luka has any injury concern whatsoever.
They didn't make the playoffs last year, though.
But everyone was excited with this Grant Hill. They had the Mavericks are currently floating in like the 6-7 on boards right now. And
they're built to disappoint.
They are built to disappoint.
Mark Cuban's gonna be mad this year. I promise you that. Best new add to a team this year. I'm gonna take one that's a little more obvious. Not Damian Lillard. I'm taking Kristaps Porzingis on the Celtics.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna say this with a little caveat.
Sure.
Do I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to play more than 50 games this year? Probably not.
No.
But when he plays, he's kind of this beautiful little gel that's going to give this offense a piece of flexibility that they did not have in recent year.
Yeah, no, it adds an extra dimension. He's good from the three. He has length.
He can space well. He moves up the court really well. I think he can play sneaky good defense at times, and I think that's what the Celtics really could use on that team efficiently.
Yeah, they just need efficient role players for the most part.
But he's more than a role player. He's the star role player.
He's role player with upside.
Yeah. What's your best new ad?
Mine is Taurean Prince over on the Lakers.
Love it.
It's a deep cut for a lot of people, I feel, considering he's just a 1-year, $4.5 million deal.
Not veteran minimum, but not great.
No, but they got him for a discount. But he's a big glue guy. Yeah. 8.1 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1.2 assists in 19.3 minutes over the last 2 seasons for the T-Wolves. He's efficient. He has never dropped below the 80th percentile in shooting for power forwards or any forward.
Gotcha.
He's a very efficient shooter, 37.8 beyond the arc. And the biggest point to me, though, why I'm excited about his addition to the Lakers is he is a tough defensive assignment guy. He's not going to give you the steals and blocks, but he's
a body in front of the shooter.
He's a strong body in front of a shooter, and he's going to take that role off LeBron.
I'm very excited for this Lakers
team. He's going to free
team.
up LeBron to have a lot more energy at the end of games. That's where he's going to have his biggest role.
I wanted to put my Lakers as the most improved with additions like Christian Wood and Reddish and just the building Prince and everything they're building. Gabe Vincent, they
went after depth.
Yeah, and they signed their players that they needed.
Yeah,
and D'Angelo Russell's there still. It's a whole thing.
Good deals on a lot of these re-signings too.
Correct. I'm really excited for this team. There are other teams though we are excited about, like the surprise team of the year, a team that is going to excel and pass expectations. My surprise team of the year this year is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Okay. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder are about to shock the world. I think they are a team that can actually do what the Beam team did last year. They're my replacement for the Beam team. A 4th seed, young team full of a bunch of young dudes. The Josh Giddeys, my Chet Holmgrens, my Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's a top 3 point guard in the league. I did not stutter. He's insane. Damn. I love him. This is a good team. They're building the right way in Oklahoma City. That's my 4th seed, surprise team of the year.
My surprise team of the year is the New York Knicks. I think they are built with the most depth out of any team in the East at the moment. I think that they are able to. They have a shutdown defense. They're able to lock people down. They just signed Hart to a good size extension.
I like Josh Hart.
Yeah, I like him too. Quickly is he's a baller. He's what you need. And then they create that second unit that is able to maintain a high level of defense going into games. They're able to go and score when they need to, but they keep things. They play the pace and they play the style that they like.
Yeah.
And the big thing that makes this team scary to me is they have 11 first-round picks and 8 second-round picks over the next 7 years.
Yeah.
They do not have a single guy on their roster making over $28 million a year.
No, that can't be true. Julius Randle's
not $28 million. He does not clear the $28 million.
They don't have one max player.
They don't have one max player, and they have a bunch of picks.
You know what that means, right?
They're going to go trade.
They're going to
go get somebody.
Zion Williamson in Madison Square Garden.
It's going to be.
He loses
this team
a bunch
is
of weight.
already a number 3 in the East with just the roster they have, and they have so much cap space and so many options to go get their star. That is just going to push them over the hump.
That's
what
ridiculous.
makes it scary for this team.
Let's move on to the last thing. It's going to be our finals matchup. Don, who do you got in the finals?
I mean, okay, we have the obvious Suns, Celtics, Warriors,
take your
Bucks,
shot.
some
Do
kind of
whatever you want.
combination. My shot, Clippers and Knicks.
That's so gross. And
It's
as a Lakers fan,
disgusting.
I can't even begin to tell you how disrespectful you are saying. Look me in my eyes and say that the Clippers are going to make it past.
To me, it's
Let
now or
alone the
never.
second round, but all three.
This is the last season in my mind that the Clippers have to.
That was
to go
2 years
chip.
ago.
Both Leonard and Paul are coming off the season healthy. They are not
Yeah.
entering in with any injuries. Ty Lue is.
He's a good coach.
He's a good coach. He is a bold, chance-taking coach, though.
Yeah.
And that's what this team, I feel, needs.
Yeah.
They've played it safe. They play conservative. That's not what these players need. They need to switch it up. They need to go chase something. And I hate that I'm going to say this.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook has improved the team.
What are we doing here?
Westbrook, in transition scoring, him alone on the court has elevated the transition scoring by an extra 3 points a game, 3.1 points a game, which is in the 97th percentile in the league for transition points. He is if you were to scale everyone from 1 to 100, he's in the elite transition points he adds.
Yeah, you're telling me Russell Westbrook is good at basketball. I know that.
But the fact that he's able to elevate the team overall for transition.
That's the problem with Russell Westbrook. He's good on bad teams. That's always been the thing.
Yes.
He's a great basketball player when it doesn't matter. When it matters, he disappears. He's confetti.
But that's the thing, is he doesn't need to be there.
He does
When it
need to be there.
matters.
He's a ball. The reason he needs to be there is because the other two players are never there. Kawhi's always hurt. Paul George is always missing. What are we doing?
To me, if the health, I'm not going to bet on the health concern. If they're going to make a run, because they're on both contract extension years,
Yeah.
it's put up or shut up for them.
So, what's your team in the East that's going to play the Clippers?
I think the Knicks, just because
Jesus Christ.
they're going to make a swing. Do not be like that's why they're my surprise team. I think that they're going to make a swing midway through the season, and they're going to go from they're a good team, they're a solid built team to oh my goodness, they're now the juggernaut.
How? Do
You
you
get
think
one
Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle and Robinson are going to be holding this team up like that?
I think they can.
You think they get past Philly?
I think they get past Philly.
You think they can get past Milwaukee?
I mean, that's also because I know that Philly and the Heat have been in trade talks, whisper, rumor kind of thing.
James Harden is on his way out.
I think that weird take. I think Harden would be great for the Clippers.
I think
they just need a
they,
ball.
They're
They need a
trying
guy to
but
distribute.
there's just not something happening there.
No, but I mean, the Clippers also though they have 2 first-round picks and a bunch of trade allowances due to expiring contracts. They could go move guys.
Yeah, but they're bad first-round picks. I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying if Kawhi and Paul George stay healthy,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not going to bet on injuries. If they stay healthy, and the addition of Westbrook has elevated the offense, he is a guy that is able to go play that kind of energy defense. He has been cleaning up glass that they've desperately needed ever since they lacked a center. Plumlee re-signed, or they went and got Plumlee again, so he is able to shore up that center position that they were lacking last year.
Plumlee's not a great center, though.
No, he's not great, but they just need a efficient body. They didn't have anybody last year.
Yeah.
And I think it shores up the team. And I think the Knicks, just with their ability to have a couple star role players, and they're able to just go, you know what, we have enough trade capital to go after anybody that becomes available. Those are weird, scary matchups that can make a run.
My finals matchup is not as shocking as yours.
No, I decided to go for a deep one.
No, I went Warriors and 76ers. Now
That's the smart bet.
well, here's the thing: the Warriors, smart bet.
Yes.
tried and true team.
Chris Paul's going to get 6th man of the year.
They're good. They're built very well. They lost to Phoenix, which that's a whole other thing.
It's early. It's week 1. It's fine.
But me picking the 76ers is bold.
I think it depends on
what they get for James Harden.
What they get for Harden, and if they decide we're going to sell pieces off.
Yeah.
And we're going to just try to soft rebuild this, or we're going to bring guys in.
I think this is a full-on, they think they can do it. I think they're going to get something good for James Harden, or if not, James Harden's bought back in. I think this is a good team that can mess around in the East. But mostly, I'm picking them because they're a Philly sports team that is cursed to lose in the finals. And that's what I'm really basing it off of.
Okay.
Yeah. It just feels like fate at this point.
All right.
Let's move on to the last segment of our show. It is the Pick Six. We're going to give you guys our 6 best picks of the week. Don, give me your first 2.
My first 2, I'm taking Eagles -6.5 against the Commanders.
Okay.
I know the Commanders hung around in the last game, but Howell just since then has just fallen apart as a quarterback. He is still the most sacked quarterback in the league.
Yeah, that offensive line's awful.
Eagles secondary finally showed up. Their defense held the Miami Dolphins to 244 total yards of offense. They're finally clicking in a good way.
But the Miami Dolphins were a little banged up. Tyreek Hill's banged up.
Yes.
Jalen Waddle left the game early. It's a lot easier to look better when your 30-year-old corners are playing in the Braxton Berrios and tight end Chase Claypool. So it's a little different there.
No, it is different there.
They're going to be playing against what we both agree is one of the best wide receiving cores in the league.
But they haven't shown it. And that's the issue to me. I think that the Eagles are just too dominant at the moment. And this line is fine. I think they could just win by a touchdown easily.
What's your next bet?
My next one, I'm taking the Chiefs -8 against the Broncos. Another big, just home favorite there.
I really like that bet. In fact, I took the over 46.5 Broncos Chiefs.
I like it.
Yeah.
Chiefs are undefeated against the Broncos since Peyton Manning started for the Broncos.
Yep. It's crazy. Patrick Mahomes has never lost to the Broncos.
Yeah. And
it's wild.
5 out of their last 6 matchups, they've won by at least a touchdown.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, Mahomes just eats this team.
I have the Saints versus Colts over at 43.5. The Colts are the only team to score 20 points a game. They cover the over very, very well. This Colts team can score. Our head coach knows how to build a game plan. Gardner Minshew is good enough to figure out what the hell's going on. And I do think the Saints, even without Chris Olave, can get some offensive woes going. I do think the Saints are the play in this game, even though they are not favorites. But, that's my pick for that.
On top over there, yeah.
I'm also going the Rams-Cowboys over. Matthew Stafford is slinging it.
Yes,
and until this team, Darrell Henderson running the rock really, really well last week.
He knows the offense. He was able to just step in and go immediately.
And McVay said this week he's going to trust him even more this week.
Really?
Yeah, he really likes Darrell Henderson. The Cowboys off the bye week. I love betting on teams off the bye week. Offense's production usually goes up. I'm in. Give me 45. I feel like it's a good number too.
That feels like a good line to me.
Yeah.
I'm double dipping on the Eagles game. I'm taking A.J. Brown over 94 receiving yards.
A.J. Brown's been going off.
His last 5 games, 137, 131.
Baller.
127,
Killer.
175,
Monster.
131.
Dog.
He is going to clear the 94 yards. I would bet it up over 100 yards. He's going to be fine.
I love that bet. Do you have another NFL bet?
My other NFL bet is I'm taking the Lions -8 against the Raiders. Lions have covered 7 of their last 8 at home. Raiders are just coming off a terrible game. Raiders lead the league in they're last in the league in takeaways. Only 5 on the season turnovers that their defense has created, and their offense is the worst offense in the league on giving up the football. They have turned the ball over 15 times. This Lions defense is just too strong for that. For if 2 turnovers occur, the Raiders are out of the game.
Yeah, it's it puts you in a really tough spot sometimes.
It really does. Especially with Hoyer looking to make the start.
Of course, I'm going to give you college bets. Of course.
Yes.
I'm taking the Kansas +10 versus Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's defeated. I know I said Dylan Gabriel's probably could win a Heisman. I still think he's in that race. I really do.
Okay.
J.J. McCarthy's #1 right now, which is crazy to me, for Michigan. Give me Kansas +10. I think they're a good team. I think they're just falling behind the pack. I think this is a huge statement game and where the Big 12 starts eating itself alive. This is where I take my stance. And then I'm going to go college again. Did you know Utah hasn't lost a game at home since 2019?
That
they
feels
lost
weird. That
once
feels very weird.
during COVID with no fans.
Okay.
I don't count that loss. Utah is getting +6.5 against Oregon. You know how much I love Oregon.
Yeah.
I love Oregon. Utah +6.5.
Okay.
That's the play. Last play in college, Kentucky +3.5 versus Tennessee. I'm taking all underdogs. I'm putting it in a parlay. I'm mixing it all up, and I'm calling it my pray for the parlay this week.
Really?
It's my pray for the parlay this week.
Okay. I didn't know you were breaking off on your own.
Yeah, I'm doing my own thing. I'm taking it. It's plus 830 odds, so I'm just gonna take it, put a nice little penny on it, and call it a day for you.
I like it. I'm dipping my toe in for 2 college picks. It worked out great for me last week with the Houston pick. I'm going to take 2 more this week. I'm taking Georgia minus 14.5 against Florida. Georgia has only covered the spread once this season, and it was against a ranked team. My working theory at the moment is just Georgia doesn't care. They know they're just going to beat the snot out of everyone. Ranked teams is when this defense shows up and shows out. They were able to beat Florida last year by 22.
Handled them. Different team though.
Handled them.
Different
Different team. Same result.
What's the spread?
The spread right now is 14.5.
All right, so I do like Georgia. Here's the thing: they've been awful against the spread. They lose their best offensive piece in Brock Bowers, the tight end. He's shut down for the rest of the regular season. Florida, though, Graham Mertz is awful. I can't trust anyone on that offensive side. Etienne's little brother, Etienne. Give me the dogs. Give me the dogs. That's why I'll ride with you.
Okay.
14.5.
It just feels like a Georgia dominant game.
Yeah.
This is their, oh yeah, we're still the best team.
Here's the thing: if they're playing like a team with like a pulse, I would probably bet the other team.
But rivalry game. To me, this is Georgia just showing up.
If they're playing like Tennessee, I'd be like, run Tennessee. But
It's just not the situation this week. My last one, USC minus 11 at Cal. USC is coming off an ugly, ugly loss last week.
No way.
I know.
I'm wearing a Mark Sanchez
we
jersey right now. We were there. We were at the game. I watched that field goal go through, and I was furious.
It was heartbreaking to see.
Want Alex Grinch fired.
But USC won 8 of their last 9 at Cal. They are just going to give the Bears the big brother treatment, I feel, this week.
That's what they do.
That's what they do. And with them dropping to 24th in the rankings, they need a big game for a get right.
Do you want to ride the Pray for Your Parlay with me?
Yeah, that's what we're riding this week.
All right,
I like
let's do it. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of Bust Picks. That was crazy. Of Bust Picks. Thank you guys so much for listening. We're going to have TikToks out. We're going to have, a bunch of stuff going on.
Follow us on X. Follow us on Instagram at Bust Picks.
Is it still X?
They float between Twitter and X.
It doesn't matter. And remember, pray for the parlay.